Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to this week's Charting from Blank episode. Going to be taking a look at CRV this week. Thank you to someone on Twitter for the recommendation. CRV is a coin that I have not looked at myself for a while, so always enjoy taking a look at coins that I haven't had any recent bias on. But yeah, something that has been ranging. I mean, what we can see for 1,200 days, so definitely going to be a good episode. Before we get into it, make sure you check out the socials in the link below, such as Discord and then also YouTube, my YouTube and also Twitch. Been doing weekly live streams on Twitch, so make sure you head over there. I was doing them on YouTube for a while, but Twitch is just a better streaming. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to start off on the monthly, taking a look at CRV on the monthly. I mean, we could even look at the higher time frame, like the yearly and the 3 month, just based on the fact that it's been kind of standstill for that amount of time. Looking at the 3 month chart, the quarterly chart, like clear range right now, right between this sort of like sub $1, this 0.938 region, and then down to 0.48 as well. Both clearly key levels for CRV, and above 0.3 and above $1, you've got quite low volumes. So you could see, like, if price got a good close above $1, there's a good chance that it could gap up to like 1.81, even towards that $2 region. So that's something to consider on the 3 months chart. Now we mapped out a bit of a higher time frame range. We can the lower time frame, because we know that now price is clearly ranging. As I said at the start of the episode, we got like a 1,200 day range on CRV, which is pretty insane. A lot of these DeFi coins have been doing something similar to that. Had a crazy run back in like 2021, and since then have basically done like nothing, I guess you could say. Still getting like decent moves between them, like 200% moves like to the upside, and then obviously like full retracing those moves over time. So if we're going on trend, we could definitely say that CRV maybe is on a reversal trend after retesting range high, potentially back down towards the 0.6 area. I mean, even back down to like 0.47, 0.5, where the range low region is. I'm going to put another support back down there towards 0.25, because there is a bit of monthly support on there. Again, we can see sort of above 1.2, the low volume node gap. I'm going to go on the weekly. The monthly isn't showing me too much. We know we have a monthly resistance here, and along with that, we have a quarterly resistance. I'm going to mark a high volume node point of control here. We also have one towards the lows, which is supports the theory that there's a strong support here. I mean, we can tell by looking at price there's clearly a strong support here, but also a lot of volume being done at the support area. So if we did at some point get a retest back down towards 0.51, I think that should make a good place to be a buyer on CRV. And then depending if you like to draw like trend lines or meme lines, whatever you want to call them, and have confidence for this like long-term trend line that should hold if CRV was to retest that low. We do have a bit of a level here in the mid-range. Well, like if we drew the trend tool right now, we draw like the range tool, you can basically see marks out that range high, range low, and mid-range. So yeah, what we have right now is kind of like a big higher time frame range, and maybe this, if the market starts to bottom into 106k, 117 on BTC, and then like 4200 on ETH, I think this area, this 0.7 area, could definitely be a place to consider an entry. As I said, the support from like a high volume node edge here, and a bit of a support. If we look at it like more of an area, it's quite a nice support here. You kind of got like a deviation under here, right? See resistance with support here and resistance. So maybe this time around we do flip it for support and see a leg up. So yeah, I think this is the area we're definitely going to want to keep an eye on for CRV. This is 0.7 area. I think that's the main place that we're going to look at basing a trade around right now. Move down to the daily. What I'll do is I'm going to daily resistance above here, and then also I like this as more of a area rather than level, just to tidy the chart up a bit, and then we got the support from that high volume there. Yeah, I think this is really important that CRV holds like 0.7 for a continuation perspective. How much is it down off the highs? Already down 35% of the highs, so quite a nice sort of like local top pullback. But yeah, looking for some support into 0.7, sorry, or 0.68, you could say, is a place to look for a reversal on CRV. And like I said, failing to hold there, we could see a much deeper pullback to like 0.51, even under there. And this area is really going to depend on whether BTC and ETH can hold like major supports into 107 and 4200. Market is market's struggling at the moment with majors being weak, so it will continue to be weak unless majors see some good inflows again, some positive buying pressure. So what we can check right now is sort of like any higher time frame opens. What I mean by that is like the yearly open, quarterly open, monthly open. See, these can be very telling of price. So we can see right now that during August, price actually has now failed to hold the yearly open, right? So July closed above the yearly open, and the monthly opened above the yearly open, and we can see now that CRV has failed to hold the yearly and monthly open. So this can be quite telling, something to consider. The fact that we're now losing these key levels, especially the yearly open. You'll find that the yearly open can be a good support for price. And since we lost the yearly open, we can see how we're trading lower. We are sweeping Monday low right now, which in terms of like an intraday and intra-week play, tends to be a good like pivot point for price. But we'll get into the lower time frame. Some alerts going off while I film this. Hopefully they're not pierce my ears. Okay, so now we've highlighted the critical area. We've noticed that since we lost the monthly and the yearly open, we have failed to like sort of reclaim there, and we are moving lower. Let's consider some momentum divergences. Like 4-hour momentum is shifting here, so slowly starting to see some momentum divergences on the 4-hour. The daily's not showing much, but we definitely want to be looking for a reversal into 0.72, and again, your entry triggers are entirely down to you. For me, like sort of entry triggers come with looking for momentum divergences and structure shifts. So in our case right now, we can see that the structure for CRV remains quite bearish. See that we form sort of lows, then we roll over, then we form a low, and then we roll over. So I would like to see a bit of a higher high put in, or a shift in market structure before I consider an entry, or just like some sort of consolidation into here to show that there is buyers stepping in at support, right? That's really important. And then I would consider an entry, and that would be my area of interest down towards this 0.72, 0.69. Would they stop right below that under like 0.6, or just close if we fail to hold here, right? And then back to the sort of like lower time frame, discussing the Monday range, right? I take off the yearly and months. So Monday lows reclaims can be nice for intraday plays. So maybe consider that there could be a bit of a reclaim setup on CRV if we reclaim the Monday open or the Monday low today. If price can reclaim that Monday low, going into the weekend, maybe consider the fact that we could get a move back up towards these highs over the weekend. But for now, from a trend standpoint, this is not something I would like to bid into. If anything, as long as the market could sell off, we could see CRV roll over into that area, right? This is our buy area right now, and it remains a very important area for CRV to hold into 0.72 to 0.69. Maybe we can consider a bottom on CRV into that. Other than that, I don't have too much to comment on. One last thing I want to discuss is the CRV Bitcoin pair. Let's take a look at the CRV Bitcoin pair. Clearly, I've got this already marked up from somewhere, discussing this long-term support for CRV. Clearly, the last time CRV retested this support, performed pretty well. So yeah, maybe if the BTC pair retests back towards this 0.xxx46 level, right? I'm not going to read out all those zeros. Then consider an entry for CRV, because historically the past 2 times we can see when CRV retested this support here, it started to bottom, and then again here in June 2025, right? That was the bottom before a move up. So consider the fact that if CRV Bitcoin pair actually like retest towards its support again, let's look at an entry on that. For that reason, I'm going to actually set some alerts down here. I consider an entry further down the line. Might come much later down the line in September or something, but definitely worth keeping an eye on that area. So a pretty mellowed chart, to be honest, not too much to discuss, right? To quickly summarize, we're stuck below the monthly higher time frame resistance right now, but the weekly and like the 3-day and the daily are looking pretty promising as long as it continues to hold at 0.7. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at a much deeper pullback for bottoming for Q4. But that pretty much sums it up for this week's blank. Like I said, pretty mellowed episode this week. Not too much to discuss, and not even a lower time frame setup that we can trade on the intraday side of things. Hope it was useful in one way or another, and make sure you check out the socials in below. And guys, have a good weekend. That pretty much sums it up for this week's Charting from Blank episode. If you did enjoy the video, then please leave a like. A pretty mellow episode, like I said. Not much to discuss apart from looking for that buy into 0.7. Have a good week, everyone, and make sure you check out the socials in the link below. Bye-bye.